Hello, and and welcome to another episode of We're Not Wizards. It's time to hit the music. It's time to light the lights. It's time to get things started on We're Not Wizards tonight. Da-da-da-da. Joining me tonight is a guest, a kind of new friend to the show called Niki, who spoke to us on Twitter and asked if she could come on and talk about board games. So we had a little chat. She's fabulous. And we're going to have a little chat tonight. And she's got some interesting stuff to talk about. So she's in Americas, which is most of you know, is quite far away. So hello, Niki.
Hello.
Don't sound so scared. How are you?
I'm great. I'm doing good.
That's good.
How are you doing?
Because we've just sat and talked for the last hour of nonsense. So.
Right. We're off to a good start.
We are off to a good start. It's always quite good. Now, the title for the show tonight is going, we found a little lost panda and all she wants to do is to play board games. So there you go.
That's a good name. I like it.
You like that? That's good. So
I like it.
So one of the things that when we have anybody on the show, apart from, as I say, making the place look presentable and feeding the fish and getting ourselves a nice cup of tea, is we like to talk a little bit about people's kind of how they got into the hobby. And so that means maybe delving a little bit into the past as well as delving into the present and then onwards and upwards to the future. So, first of all, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
No, this is going to be a lot of fun. If you want to tell, how did you get into the hobby? Kind of first of all, how did you, where did you first trip the cardboard light fantastic?
Well, there's all those generic board games here in the US, like Monopoly. That's all I knew board game wise for years and years, until probably 5 or 6 years ago, I realized, there's really cool board games I can be playing, because my friends were really into playing just really neat board games at our favorite comic book shop.
Okay.
And so I'm trying to think what the first. I think Carcassonne was the first one I played that wasn't what I thought was a traditional board game, and I just fell in love with it.
Did that kind of drive you to get your first copy then? Do you have a copy of Carcassonne?
I do. I have Carcassonne.
And
so
did you fall down the line of getting all the expansions as well then?
Not as much as my brother did, and that was because he was getting all the expansions. I was like, I don't need to throw money at this right now until he moves out, because at the time he was still living here. And so he got every expansion he could get his hands on. I think I have 2 or 3 of the expansions, just enough to have a little extra fun with it when people come over.
So did he take them with him then?
He did. He took all his board games with him.
All of them?
But he lives 45 minutes away, so it's not that bad.
Oh, that's not good. That's not far. Well,
he's just he's in the next town over.
Oh,
so
that's pretty cool
really
then.
Not bad.
Well, that's not bad. Does that mean you can go over and go on the kind of the premise that you're going to see him and make sure he's okay and just check in at him and then go straight to the cupboard and check out what his latest kind of new hotness is that he's picked up?
Well, lately, he's been just getting, he got really into X-Wing miniatures, that tabletop game, and he's pulled me down into that one, so I don't even know why I didn't think to tell you that I've been playing X-Wing.
You never said you played X-Wing.
I know, I didn't even mention that, and I'm sitting right next to my carrying case for X-Wing and everything. It's this toolbox that just fits the pieces perfectly.
Is that for, have you gone to the lengths of getting some custom stuff done? And then what I mean by that is the carry case. Is it a carry case that is meant to be used for X-Wing? Or is it a carry case that you've bought that you then customize to carry the stuff?
It's this cute little carry case that's like for drill bits that my brother found online, and he was just like, it fits the miniatures perfectly, and so I ordered it, and that's what we both used to carry our stuff around. It was like $10.
Yeah.
It was cheap, and it was much better than trying to like get the little foam inserts for like all the fancy carry cases.
So is it like hard? Is it little hard plastic chambers that you can drop the pieces into?
Yeah.
Cool.
So you can remove the little, like, you can remove everything from inside it. It's like, they're kind of like little trays, like little dishes, and you can pull them out. And so, like, we just keep all of our pieces in there, like the focus tokens, like any token we just keep in its little carrying case.
And how long you been playing X-Wing for then?
I think, gosh, since I'll say I got into it around April, because I was still in school when my brother was just like, "Get this, I want to play you," and I was like, "Okay."
So you needed. I take it what you needed is when you went over after your 45-minute drive, he needed somebody to actually play with. So this
he
is
needed
what
someone
this
to
is.
play with. Yeah, he wanted someone to play with, and he didn't want to go like play random people at our favorite comic book store. Like, so the comic shop around here is so cool. Well, it's closer to him than me, and the owner, she's made it like this board game mecca for people in the area. Like, she has big tabletops, like different nights of the week is like, you know, board game night or Warhammer, X-Wing, that sort of thing. And she just really has fostered this area for people to come and try new games. Like, she has open copies of games for people to just try before they buy it to see if they like it.
So
But he won't go to play X-Wing there. And I'm like, come on, we gotta go play X-Wing there. He's like, no,
have you done
I'll
it then?
just keep playing you. I have not.
You can't then have a go at him if you haven't gone ahead and played it yourself.
I know.
Then. I mean, you can't.
I don't want to go alone, and then he doesn't want to go at all. So I'm like, I don't want to drive all that way if you're not going to go with me.
So have you gone down the route of getting the resin tokens then? How serious? I mean, this is, you're talking about a carry case. You've customized the carry case. So did you get the acrylics?
I can send you a link to my carry case. I'm sending you a link to my carry
You
case.
send me a link and we'll maybe put it in the... No, we're not going to put it in the show notes, but I'd be interested for myself just to see what this carry case is all about.
I think it's little. Like, you can't have like a big fleet in it. It's good for when you're starting out, because I only have like, shoot, what is it? I put like a bunch of Star Wars stickers all over it, so I can't actually see inside it anymore.
I'd be just interested to see what this thing looks like. This is kind of like live finding out storage solutions. We should do an episode on storage solutions. Because storing board games is fine, but when you get to the point where you're storing a game like X-Wing or Armada or...
It's hard.
Yeah?
It's so hard storing things.
No, it's just not good at all. It just makes for doesn't make for a good thing at all. For those, okay, so here's an interesting thing. For those who haven't played X-Wing before, and people will be like, well, of course we've played X-Wing before because it's popular. But for those who haven't played X-Wing before, because this is a name that people will hear an awful lot of time because of Fantasy Flight Games. You know, they're known for having like the Star Wars license. So they're doing a lot of games at the moment. They're releasing like they've got Destiny coming out. They obviously do Imperial Assault, and they've got Armada, and they've got X-Wing. So for people who haven't played X-Wing before, what would you say? How would you say it? How would you describe it to them?
It's like, oh gosh, I don't know. You get to play like a dogfight. It's really good. Like, you're just in space, coming at each other, and I don't know. I'm bad at it. I run into asteroids all the time. Like, I'll do this really cool move. Like, I'll do this incredible evasive maneuver and like whip around, and just, it's like the coolest thing. And then the very next turn, I just run right into an asteroid.
You just wiped out, or you lose your shield damage or something like that.
Yeah. Like, I'll lose all my shields, and I play Empire, so I don't have very many shields. I just have like my TIE fighters can barely take any hits, and so I kill myself a lot on accident, and it's fantastic. Because, like, the whole idea for the Empire is that you're agile. You can zip around the Rebel ships, and you don't have, like, the best firepower, but you're fast. You can dodge, and I'm very bad at dodging, so...
So have you not thought of, like, tanking up? And then
I tried. I have this really cool, like, I have a Punisher, and, like, I load it up with bombs. I'm like, all right, I've got shields, I've got extra hull. This is so great. And then
I've got an inability to move between two big bits of rock, though.
I'll like last time, I think I ended up dropping my bombs in such a way that I had to go through them myself if I wanted to get away. It was so bad.
For those, that haven't played it, it's basically you get like if you want to play it kind of seriously, I guess, is you get like a number of points, and that allows you to play by your ships, but you're not necessarily buying ships, you're almost like buying kind of pilots as well.
Yeah.
So your pilots have a skill level. So you get like a normal kind of, here's a TIE fighter pilot Bob, you know, and then you'll also get, they'll be called something like Wolfsbane or something like that.
Right.
Signal Wolfsbane or something, and he's like a really good pilot, so he costs you more points. And then you'll get somebody quite well known, because Vader's on there. I think you can play as Vader. And they have their they also have kind of, as well as having kind of like decent points, they also have kind of better they've got a better abilities. Each pilot also has maybe a special ability that they can roll out at the same time. So they've got the ability, if they've got like a couple of ships flying next to them at the same time, they get to automatically do like an extra move or something like that. They get to attack, you know, people that are in the same group. So it's like a swarm tactic or something like that. But the idea is that you sit across the table from somebody, you have anywhere between like 4 ships, 5 ships or whatever, and the other person has the same number of ships as well. And you kind of try and kill each other, basically. You try and blow each other up, and on occasion you also you can also kind of fulfill objectives. You can do escort missions. You can kind of vary, and you can kind of change it up. Yeah,
you can do some cool stuff. I haven't tried any of like the mission objectives. Like Fantasy Flight has put like campaigns up on their site, and I haven't tried any of those yet.
Yeah,
it's just going up against my brother. We were constantly trying to one up each other with different expansion packs.
So what's your favorite squad at the moment? What kind of squad are you rocking just now?
Oh god, I even printed this out. I made a team, but I'm constantly tweaking it, so this is an older version that I have here.
Is there spreadsheets involved?
No, I just, for my own reference, like, I'll put the pilot and then what different enhancements I've given him, so I make sure that I have the right point layout. But I've been really digging, I've been using Death Rain, that's the pilot, and he uses a Punisher, a TIE Punisher. And his ability is really cool in that instead of dropping bombs behind him, he can drop them in front.
All right, okay.
And then he can do like he gets a free barrel roll action.
So he throws the bomb in front of him and then scuts off to the side.
Yeah, and I've done that before against my brother with, like, he had this tiny little A-wing that was just zipping around me. It was awful. He was really beefed up and strong, and I dumped cluster mines on him, and he was just in range of 2 of them, and it took him out in 1 turn. He was gone.
You must have been delighted with that.
We were just laughing so hard because it was so ridiculous.
When something like that happens, okay, here's the other thing, right? Okay, so you go around to his place, or does he ever come around to yours with his stuff and you play?
The past 2 times we've played, he's come over here, and we'll do 100-point teams because we like to suffer. And those matches will end up going for like 2 hours. Because like I'll sit there and take like 5 minutes to move a guy because I'm always just like, I don't want to hit an asteroid. And I'll spend like 5 minutes planning this out in my head. And, you know, you're not allowed to use the like movement rulers unless it's your move. And so you got to kind of eyeball it.
Yeah.
And I'm just really bad at gauging the distance. And so... I'm like, oh yeah, this gentle turn will whip me right around this asteroid, no problem, and it'll whip me right into the asteroid.
So ideally, what your brother needs to do, or anybody that's going to be facing up next to you in the future, is actually just have an entire fleet of asteroids.
Yeah, that's all you need.
They will potentially just have to sit there and go, right, I'm just going to set these up, and then I'll be back in about half an hour because I've got to go and get some. I got to go and get some groceries. And then when they come back, you'll be sitting there with like a ship and a half left because you've just managed to fly into everything.
I always have this idea in my head, like, I'm going to zip in, I'm going to fire off a few shots, and then I'm going to whip back around and go around this asteroid. So if he tries to fire back at me, he has to fire through an asteroid. And when you do that, it's like you fire with like one less or something like that. And I'll just hook it too close, and it always seems cooler in my head, but the execution, I need to work on my execution.
How often do you win? What's your win streak like?
Let's see, I lost the last 2, but before that I'd won the previous like 3 times we put. No, I lost one and then won one, and that was like last week, and before that I'd won like 3 times. So I think I've got 4 wins on me, and my brother's got 3. We might be tied right now.
Well, that's pretty good. Is there any conflict in there? I mean, when you are fighting up against them, do things ever spill out into the family meal afterwards? Does he's like this going like, you know, Niki going past the peas? And you're like, well, there you go. Would you have to throw them for me? I guess because you used that double pincer approach on me and I crashed into an asteroid. That's why.
There's none of that yet, and I think it's just because we're both so new to this. It's just win or lose, we're having a blast. But there are times when it'll be like, I wasn't in your line of sight. There's no way. And it's like, no, I totally was. And we'll argue until one of us is just like, you know what? I'm tired of arguing. Fine, you can take the shot. I don't even care anymore. I think that happened last time. I was just like, I will fight you because you don't have a laser pointer, so you can't prove me wrong.
Do you ever get like a parental unit coming in and saying, is that you two fighting again? No. Just knocking on the door gently and going, it's like it's back to like 20 years ago when it was Monopoly.
I guess it's just how we are. Our parents are used to it because when we play, we have to play in the dining room. That's the only big table here that we can use. And there has been a few times where we've gotten a little loud just because we're laughing or like shouting at each other like, no, you can't do that.
You're cheating.
And so then like our dad will just slowly like turn up the volume on the TV.
So what is a typical Niki squad? I mean, how many vehicles do you normally have? How many birds do you fly?
I usually have 3.
All right.
I'll have my TIE Punisher, and then I have a TIE Advanced prototype, which I guess is from the Rebels TV show.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Got really popular.
Yeah.
And I really like his maneuverability. Like I'll use the Inquisitor or just the no skill lower level pilot.
Yeah.
And I don't know, its maneuverability is so good. Like it can take really sharp turns and it won't stress the pilot out, which that's another aspect of the game is you can stress your pilot out so you can't do red maneuvers.
Yeah, I mean basically what happens is that it's a weird setup in that every pilot has a level of skill, and then the order of movement, you'll correct me, the order of movement goes in from the lowest skilled pilot up to the highest skilled pilot. So basically the highest skilled pilot will move last, and then the highest skilled pilot will fire first. Is that right?
Yes.
There you go.
You got it.
Boom. In more ways than one. There you go. I still remember what's going on here.
You got
I'm
it.
not that
You got
old
it.
yet. And I remind him, and I wasn't playing it that long ago as well. I played it back about 3-4 months ago because
nice.
I took the new I took the new kind of base set, the new core set that you get.
Yeah.
That's got the two kind of first order TIE fighters in it.
Mm-hmm.
And Poe Dameron, well, not Poe Dameron's X-wing, but a new X-wing in there. And I was playing that, and that was a lot of fun. That was for my nephew. I was kind of
That's cool.
No, I was kind of doing the most evil thing into the world, which is to say, he's 11, so I was just doing the thing of, what do you think of board games then? And he was like, they're all right, I suppose. What do you think of these board games though? And it's like, there's X-wing. And he's like, whoa, whoa,
right?
And that was it. I was like walked away from visiting, going, that's my job done there. Absolutely fantastic.
That's good.
That's
my brother, he got into it because of the new like base kit that came out.
Yeah, because the models are fantastic.
Yeah, we'd come off the movie hype train, and he had been at the comic shop and had seen it. I was like, what is this? At least I think that's how it happened. I just know I got a text one day and it was like, so X-Wing, you should play it with me.
You need to buy it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I played it, and then after that, I was like, well, the TIE fighters are cool. And he's like, but I don't think I want to play Empire. He's like, but Niki, look at these ships you could get. And I was just like, oh shoot, this is great. Because I'm all about like bulky ships that are Empire. You have to play kind of more aggressively.
Would you play as the rebels then if you got the choice?
Oh yeah, I'd play any of them. Like there's the Scum and Villainy.
Oh yeah.
I totally forget about them, but I guess our uncle, I was telling him about X-Wing, and he got all excited about it, so he's going to be getting us some Scum and Villainy for Christmas. And I'm really excited about that.
Oh, the ships are really good. I mean,
they're super cool.
I've got the Slave One, I've got the Millennium Falcon, I've got I think somewhere I've got the actual Blockade Runner, which is huge, which had the new ship movement rules, and it's just fantastic. You can just dump that on the table.
Decimator. I want the Decimator so bad because I just want to like ram it into people. Like the Decimator's cool. My brother got Ghost, and that one's been hard to take on. That's when his winning streak started coming back.
Oh right, okay.
Ghost. It's just I have my little guys, and they just aren't doing enough damage to him.
Can you not like play out bigger guys, but substitute them for smaller guys then?
I can, I guess. I don't have that many heavy hitters right now.
Well, tell you what, guys, if anybody's out there, and if you are X-Wing experts, and you have tips, hints and tips for Niki, then at us on Twitter at We're Not Wizards and say, hey, this is what you should be doing. And let's make it an unhappy Christmas for Niki's brother.
It'll be good.
Well, Christmas is coming up anyway, so there's bound to be the kind of the post-Christmas kind of let's rip out the X-Wing.
Oh yeah,
and see what happens
Christmas
there.
Time. We try and do board games like Christmas. Eve,
cool, okay.
Like New Year's. 1 year we got our mom Winter Carcassonne because it had the snow fields. Like you can't use it with any of the other expansions really, but
that's not great.
It's just like it's a one-off like little starter kit for getting your family hooked on the game, and that's
it's like a gateway drug or something like that.
Yeah, and that's perfect.
Gateway
and
tiles.
My mom loves it.
Get in there.
I
what
don't
do you
think it's good. I don't think. Oh god, none of my friends really want to get into X-Wing, so it's just me and my brother. Like we don't know anybody else, so we really need to start going to X-Wing night and playing people, or at least watching and seeing how they play.
So what's the name of the store that you go to?
It's Olympic Cards and Comics, or as everybody in the area, we just call it Gabby's because it's owned by a woman named Gabby, and she is so cool.
So shout out
She's
to
like
Gabby.
coolest.
Shout out Gabby. Hello, Gabby. Thank you for
Hi,
making
Gabby.
Nikki and her brother so happy with your selection of fine
Super
comics
happy.
and board games and
Super happy.
tables and stuff like that. So there we go. You know what I mean? If they're on Twitter, then we can put a little we'll put a little
I
thing
have
on
no
the notes.
idea.
That'd be quite cool. That'd be quite cool.
I'll figure this out. I'll find it.
Yeah. But one of the other things that you've said that you've been playing is Dungeon Quest, which I am interested in hearing about because
it's so good.
Because I have heard, I know it exists, and it's one of these things that I've seen so many dungeon crawlers, and I've played quite a few dungeon crawlers, obviously the classics, and anybody that's listening to the show will go, oh my goodness, not another dungeon crawler, because we do mention them on a regular basis. But I've seen it, but I've never played it, so, you know, this is something you said you've been playing quite recently as well, so what is it all about? Is it about having a quest in a dungeon, or is that just a clever name?
Yes. I mean, you're trying to get gold and get rich and not die. So
That sounds like having a
questing.
job.
You're questing. I don't know. There's like Dungeon Quest. Like, I think there's another game called Dungeon Quest because I always find like.
I was pretty sure when I first looked at Dungeon Quest, there was it's another Fantasy Flight game.
Like they have.
It's not like this show is going to be sponsored by Fantasy Flight. It's not like that. We're trying to move. It's like that. It's almost like I should do. Other board games are available, but other board game companies are kind of available as well. But
they are.
Dungeon Quest is Fantasy Flight.
Yeah, it is, and they released it's the revised edition, and that came out a few years ago, like 2, I guess. And before that had come out, a friend of mine had a copy of the beta for it because he plays board games so much, and Fantasy Flight, I guess on the forums, was like, hey, we need some game testers. And he was like, I will test it.
Oh, cool.
And one night, my other friend, we'd do like weekly board game nights at his office, and one night a friend brought Dungeon Quest. He's like, guys, here's Dungeon Quest. Don't tell anybody I'm letting you play this right now because it's not out yet. And we're like, oh, okay. And it was super fun. I fell in love with it. It was like, when is this game coming out? And he's like, oh, you're probably going to have to wait like a year. I'm like, no!
Really?
Yeah, so it took a while for it to come out. But when it did, my younger brother grabbed a copy, and we love it. I love it. I want to play it all the time, but I don't get to play it all the time.
So how do you play it? Tell the folks home.
Oh, no.
A little bit.
Well...
I'm not asking the big, deep mechanics and stuff like that. It's not like we're going to have somebody sitting and going, actually, Nikki was wrong on this bit, this bit, and this bit. There is an exam at the end kind of thing. I mean,
people can correct me.
People.
Well, it's nice because you get your game board, and it's just kind of like this blank slate, and there's spots for different cards, and you draw tiles. So I like it because it has the tiles. I'm realizing I'm a sucker for games where you draw different tiles to make up like your map or your field of play, and each tile it can be like a hallway, it can be a room. Some will have a different icon on them, which will be like you can draw a treasure card, or maybe an event happens, or you can encounter a monster and you have to fight the monster. And monster fights are pretty cool because control of the monster goes to the person, I believe it's to your left. And then it kind of becomes like a rock, paper, scissors because you have 3 cards. And so like shield beats sword, and I think sword, or I don't know. It's like magic beats sword, sword beats shield, shield beats magic, something like that.
Yeah, okay.
Mixing it up.
Okay.
It's been a little while since I've played.
Yeah, okay.
But it's up to 4 players, and you start at a different corner of the board and you draw your tiles and you're trying to get to the center, because in the center is the dragon's hoard of gold.
Okay.
And the idea is you get the gold, the dragon wakes up, and you can either stay and try and grab more loot, or you can just leave and then start making your way back to the start. And like there's chances to go down to the catacombs, and you kind of remove yourself from the board and you start drawing catacomb cards, and that's you exploring the catacombs. And there's some nasty business down the catacombs. but there's also really good stuff, and you get character cards, so you have abilities, you have strength, HP, agility, so you can die like facing monsters. Like you have to roll against them. You have to roll against like different checks.
Okay.
The last time, I think it was the last time I played, or one of the times I played, I was being the beefy knight. I'm like, yes, I love knights. I'm all about being a knight. The first tile I draw is a bottomless pit, and you have to roll agility.
Oh dear.
And the knight's agility is not good, and so I didn't pass the agility check and fell to my death.
That was it?
First turn. That was it.
You just had to go home then.
Well, yeah, but see, I was playing with my family, and they were like, go ahead and play the
you'll be
character,
fine.
Niki.
Come on.
I was like, thank you.
It's this bottomless pit. There's never going to be a bottomless pit.
I got so mad, though. I was like, I can't believe I died on my first turn. And they were all just poking fun at me, like, nope, you're dead, you can't play. Like, but I want to play, this is my favorite game.
So had you brought this along for everybody in the family to play then?
Yeah, I think... Yeah, I don't know. My brother got it. I need it. I need this game so bad.
Have you not got it then?
I don't have it.
What's wrong? What? Okay.
I know. I need it so I can play it whenever I want. It's expensive. Board games are expensive. But I just bought 2 other board games. See, I should have bought this board game.
What board? Yeah. We can...
I got 2 new ones last weekend, and I should have gotten this one.
I don't even know how much it is. It's probably going to be about $50 or something like that.
Yeah, it's about that.
In fact, let's check.
It's one of those things where my brother has it, and I don't usually play board games unless I'm with him anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So him having it is enough. I told him to bring it last night because we were doing like a second Thanksgiving family get together with just friends and like close family, and he didn't bring it, and I was sad. I was like, why didn't you bring Dungeon Quest? Like, well,
did he bring X-Wing with him instead?
He did not.
What did he bring with him? What does he bring? Like what?
He didn't bring board games last night. We played one of my new board games that's like 2 to 6 players.
Ooh, okay. Right, okay, then let's it looks like Dungeon Quest is available for about £66.
Yeah, it's up there.
That's quite I mean, obviously this is me looking at a certain website. So yeah, I look at it on there. I'm going to see if I can find it on anywhere else. But while I do that, what's the other game that you said you got some new games? So what's the other one you've been getting?
I got Dracon. And
is that Drakon?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And I'd never heard of it until like last week. I was watching like people review board games on YouTube. And it was another one of those, you draw tiles and then you do the thing that the tile icon tells you to do when you enter the room. I was like, it just seemed like a simpler Dungeon Quest. It doesn't have cards involved.
Okay.
And sometimes you just want that simple game instead of like a big epic. But it took us a while to get the rules all sorted out before we started playing. But it ended up being a lot of fun. I really like it.
Was it expensive then, or was it reasonable?
It was reasonable.
Okay, cool.
I got it on sale, so...
Right, okay. I mean, now seems to be a good time for, like, it's supposedly Black Friday, but I've not really seen any kind of games that I really wanted to get my hands on. Have kind of fallen into the kind of the sale territory, because I was like, yep, I'll go on, I'll get a couple of board games, everything will be happy, and then if I get questions about it later, I can claim that they're Christmas presents that I have bought for myself.
Exactly. Exactly.
Let me just have a look. Dracon. I'm taking
the
this.
4th edition just came out.
It's not this one. It's a visual language for the specifications from the Russian space program. No, that's not it.
That's not it.
That's definitely not it. It's going to be something else completely different. Oh my goodness.
That's
Here we go.
it.
It's another. Oh, you're joking me. It's another Fantasy Flight game.
Yes.
So where is it you work again, Niki? Because you didn't say. You weren't 100% sure where you were saying where you're from. You're like saying, I was this admin. Would you work with paper? I kind of work with cardboard. But you never actually said. It's like, you know what I mean? Do you know what? I think they've kind of come to some kind of partnership with Asmodee. A massive board game thing. I reckon I could tap them for a couple of quid for sponsoring this episode. You could say, oh my goodness. Here we go. It is, yeah, absolutely. It's the 4th edition.
Yeah. I've read complaints about it, but
really?
I don't know. People are like, it's too simple. You can't, there's not enough variation. It's just a quick play. And it's like, well, sometimes that's all you want. You just want a simple game that you can like introduce to somebody that doesn't want to get in these big, long, and involved games.
It's kind of quite cool because it is like kind of like just simple square tiles, and it looks like you've got some nice little miniatures with little dragons on it as well. And you got to be the first player to collect 10 gold from the dungeon, so you can grab a coin from the floor, or you can steal it from somebody else, or or you can. It looks quite fun. It looks very, very simple.
Yeah, it's just nice and simple, and like, you know, our mom ended up winning last night. Like she always does when we play a new board game. She always wins every time. Does she? Anytime we're playing a new board game.
Is she the one that's in control of the rules, though?
No, she's not. She's just like, I think the problem is well, see, we had a lot of people playing last night, but usually my brother and I will be like, Mom, you have to play with us because it'll be boring with just 2 people. We need at least 3, and our little sister doesn't like board games unless it's Carcassonne. So it's like, Mom, you gotta play this with us.
This is Carcassonne, isn't it? I mean, this is kind of
Carcassonne.
You could just put these pieces in a Carcassonne box and then drag your sister in.
Right. Well, we made her play last night.
And say, look, it's me Carcassonne, and you get little models instead of meeples.
She played last night, which was pretty cool, but, you know, her boyfriend was over and playing with us, and they were just being
right.
So, you know.
Jinx, she was maybe trying to impress the boyfriend to say, look, I'm down with these board game things as well.
Right.
You know.
Right. Well, she likes some board games. You just gotta... A lot of times she's just like, I don't want it to take forever.
Well, this is good then. If you know, Dracon is... If it's a quick enough board game, then everything's fine, isn't it? I mean, that's what's...
Yeah, we had a rough start just because we were kind of confused about a couple of the rules in the beginning, and that was mostly my fault because I didn't read the directions completely, the rulebook completely before we started.
So when you start learning this, are you like the type of person that will go onto YouTube and check out a YouTube video to find out how something plays? Or are you one of the people that goes through the entire rules and knows it? Because I'm thick. I mean, I'm quite stupid. And, you know...
It takes me a few goes if I'm going through the rule book. And then if it's like... Because some rule books have like really weird wording. And it's like, well, according to this, I should be able to do this move. But according to it, this other sentence, like 2 paragraphs ago, I can't. And so I'll look things up on like forums or search for a video.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, a really good friend of mine, he is really good about rules and explaining them to people. So he was over here last night. I was looking over the rules, so that was a lot of help.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the type... I mean, I usually would try and find a video. I'll read the rules, but then I'm not confident about how I interpret the rules.
Yeah, I suffer from being like really bad at explaining games to people once we're starting to play.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
I don't want to be the person. Do you know what? I don't want to be the
play.
person where somebody grabs the rules and looks at the lines and goes, "No, you don't. You do 3 instead of 5. Or you silly. You don't do that. You've just completely changed the entire mechanic of the game." And I'm always worried I'm that kind of guy that somebody's going to look down at it and say, "No, it's actually this," and you've just ruined 4 people's lives here tonight just by doing the wrong rules. They're never ever going to get over this. I
know.
You're just
like
the worst
person
in the world.
Yeah, like I almost did an illegal move last night. I was just like, no, let me consult the rule book. let me make sure.
And then I hate that's nothing worse.
I don't want to mess up.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing worse. You go like, stop. Or that's the other type of person that grabs the rule book and has the rule book, and then just like everybody's like playing along, and sometimes you know how you house rule something. Yeah. It's like your knight, like guy, like falling down his bottomless pit, and you could stop and say, right, okay, you're dead, or you could say, oh well, let's just carry on because it's not. I think there's nothing worse than if a game seems to be flowing quite well, somebody like just reaches over and just goes, no, just give me that for a second. and then all you hear is them going, right, oh yeah, okay, all right, and they start pointing as if they've got an eyeball on the end of their finger, and they can't just read normally, and they're like, oh yeah, well it says in this bit here, and everybody just looks at them and going, right, okay, that's fine. I mean, we were having fun here, but if you obviously want to bring in a mechanic that now everybody has to play completely differently in order to have fun instead, how much fun is that going to be? I mean,
see, I'm the person that's constantly asking for the rule book, but it's because I don't want to mess up my turn. Like I don't want to I've there's been so many times when I've accidentally done something I probably shouldn't have done, and it's like, and there have been times where it's like, okay, you guys, you gotta correct me if I'm doing this wrong.
Exactly. In Fantasy Flight, they're not known for being like the best people at doing rule books.
Definitely.
I mean, the X-Wing one, they've seemed to have. The X-Wing one's okay because it's got a quick play one. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah. They've got a quick play one.
It's pretty good.
But then they have ones where they've got, here's the quick play one, and then they have an even bigger rule book, and then the even bigger rule book, you start to read the bigger rule book, and then you're just like that.
Like, wait, I did this wrong.
Totally playing this game the wrong way. I didn't realize you didn't crash into asteroids. Kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, like, I got really upset last time I played because I ended on an asteroid and then I had to spend like 2 turns in an asteroid for some reason, and I had to like roll for damage for 2 turns. I was like, this is stupid. Why do I have to take it at the beginning?
It's 3-dimensional space.
Yeah, it's like there's all these weird rules.
Yeah, just, but anyway, it's beside, But rule people, yeah. Sometimes you gotta just let something roll in order to have fun, because the whole point of playing this stuff is having fun. And sometimes, obviously, if I'm losing, then I am perfectly entitled to go through the rule book to find something that makes me win. I mean, I think
exactly.
I think that's the way to play with it. Yeah, I know Dracon looks quite decent.
It's good. It's I don't know. Like the other thing was with the icons in the room, there was some confusion when we started. Like, is it a one-time use only? And nowhere in the rulebook does it say it's one-time use. So
there's nothing worse than that.
I guess they just stay there, so you can travel back to that room and like keep getting gold. But then the only other thing is there's little arrows on the pieces, and you have to go in the direction of the arrows. Like, you can't go through a closed door. Yeah. And an arrow can only match up to a closed door on a different tile. And at first we were like, wait, what? Because the wording on it was really weird in the beginning of the rulebook. Yeah. So we kind of had to fiddle around with that for a little bit. But then once we got going, it ended up being a really quick game. And like I said, our mom won. We decided to play just to 7 coins, but I think she ended up getting 10 anyway. And was
she kind of pushing that in your face? Did she make everybody?
No.
Was she like quite modest about winning as well?
She thought it was pretty cool, and like halfway through the game, like she was like, "This game's too confusing for me. I think I'm gonna quit." And we're like, "No, you have to stay. Don't go," because we were spending too much time consulting the rule book. And she's like, I could be doing something else right now. We're like, no,
No,
you gotta stay,
because otherwise we're down to 2. No, this is not gonna be a disaster.
And she did do a move that she couldn't do, and we're like, oh no, you can't do that. And she's like, oh, why am I even playing this? I can't do this. And it's like, no, you gotta keep playing.
You could obviously go like children's guilt, and you could just say, listen, Mum, if you go now, you obviously don't love us.
Well, it's funny because she thought this one was a little too confusing, but I think it's just how we were. Like, there was me, my brother, and my friend, and we were all just like, well, this is how you do this, and the 3 of us are consulting the rule book and trying to say how to play the game.
Nah.
And so I think we made it confusing. She wasn't confused by it more.
No, because she went ahead and she
confused.
won, didn't she?
Yeah, she won, and it was perfect because she was. Yeah, she was like she was stealing gold from like my sister, and then she was picking up gold, and she was stealing gold from me. So she like was stealing, and we were too busy doing other things. Like my brother ended up in like a teleport room, and it's really cool because your turn you have 2 choices for your action. You can move into a room, or you can place a room tile.
Mm-hmm.
Like those are your choices, and you can place the tile at any tile that's already in play.
Yeah.
You don't have to be. It doesn't have to be like next to you, so you can plan out like your path far in advance. And he had set himself up so he could. Okay, I have to back up a little bit. There's the Dracone tile. It has like this little dragon head on it, and when that gets played, the dragon shows up and gets to move 3 spaces. And if you end up being on the tile with the dragon at the end of your turn, then you get pushed back to the start of the game. Mm-hmm. Well, first turn, Mom placed a Dracone tile, and we're like, what? Wait, what does this mean? So the dragon had been in play since the very beginning.
Oh my goodness.
But like none of us, like, I don't know, I must have shuffled bad. It's hard shuffling tiles because we never got another Dracone tile. But what had happened was my brother was in a teleport room, so he was going to teleport himself to the Dracone tile on his next turn, and then use it to make the dragon come after me, because we always start going after each other. It's just what we do in board games. It's awful, and I swear Mom claims this is how she wins, is me and my brother get caught up and try and
destroy each other, and then she just wanders in and gets the gold. It's just like when you 2 were living at home, and you were arguing over the last slice of apple pie, and you were rolling about on the floor trying to punch each other, and I just walked in, picked it up, got some ice cream, waved at you, and you didn't even notice, and just went through to the den.
It's pretty great. My brother and I, we're 6 years apart, and we've always got along, like, really, really well. Like, we've been best friends since forever.
Yeah.
But board games is where we'll butt heads. It's so funny.
You're butt heads.
Like, yeah, exactly. See, we're butt heads.
That's your mum said that. They're just butt heads at board games.
Yeah, we're just butt heads at board games. So we get too caught up trying to do mean things to each other. So, like, he was in the teleport room waiting for his next turn to move. And then I got to a room that had like a mind control icon. And that means you can make anyone move wherever you want them to move, as long as it's a legal move. So I moved him way off into this area that he couldn't like move into a room. He'd have to start placing tiles to even get back to where he wanted to go. And then on my next turn, I had a special ability that let me go against the arrows, so I can move into any room adjacent to me. And so I moved to the teleport room. And so after a couple of turns, I ended up on the Dracone tile, and then I sent the dragon after him. And it was like, I could have sent it after our mom, but it turned into, I just wanted to go after him, and then my friend just wanted to facilitate our fighting against each other. And so Mom was just able to walk around, collect gold, and she won.
It's just like something just like this, like the grabs popcorn meme. It's like, oh look, there goes Niki. It's Niki and her brother are going for it. She grabs popcorn. Let's see how this will turn out. Oh, she's put him on the teleporting thing across the other thing. Oh look, there's a Dracon tile.
There it goes.
It's all just gonna. It's just, it's all kicked off.
Yeah. It was good. It was a lot of fun. We started playing kind of late, so we didn't get to do another round to get ourselves more familiarized with it.
All right, okay.
But it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Cool. And the last game that you said you bought.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? Qu'est-ce que c'est, as they would say.
What I got freaking... Okay, so there's Raycon, and then I got BattleCon.
Really?
Which is... And I just heard about this game, but I guess I heard about it a few years ago because my brother had been telling me about it, but I wasn't listening, probably. Because it's by...
Your leg's on fire, Nikki. What? I'm busy.
Yeah.
I'll call you later.
I'll call you later.
Yeah, I know there's aliens outside. Do you not think I watch the news or something? You just don't have to come over and tell me this stuff all the time. You know, I want my own space sometimes. You just don't have to come and talk to me. What was that? BattleCon. I've never heard of it. What were you saying? And then you just go back.
Right. Well, he'd gotten... Shoot. What'd he get? He got a different game by the same company. And he had been saying that it's like a simplified version of BattleCon, or it had characters from BattleCon.
All right,
like
okay.
That. And I was like, well, what? Oh, he had Pixel Tactics. That's what it was.
Oh, Pixel Tactics.
That one's a lot of fun.
You played it?
I've only played a few times. I've only played a few times, and that was like over a year ago.
Have you heard that there's Kickstarter for the Mega Man version of Pixel Tactics? Oh, really? Yes.
Oh no.
And they're not shipping to the UK.
What?
Yes.
That's awful.
Why well, I don't know. I mean, I guess they just don't like us anymore.
I mean, it costs a bit to ship to the UK, I guess.
It costs a bit to ship. You know, it's really weird because it's really quite cheap to ship from. It's inexpensive. I'm not going to say it's cheap because it can still cost a bit of money, but it's not that bad to actually ship from the UK to the States. I mean, I've done it a few times. It's never cost a massive amount of money, but I've looked at kind of not backing a couple of games, but I looked at pre-order on a couple of games recently that were kind of being produced in the States, and the shipping just killed it. I mean, it was like I think the game was about $50 or something, and the ship it was $75. So it's just like it's like that's $125, which I guess. See, and 6 months ago the exchange rate was fine, so like $100 was like 60 quid. So you could kind of justify it. I mean, 120, you're like, okay, that's $80. It means it's not bad. I can justify it now, but it's getting really close now. It's like $100 is like about £90 now. So the exchange rate's just kind of taken a bad hit, which has affected kind of like the kind of the Kickstarter. BattleCon is all about fighting people, isn't it? It's like
it's a 2-player game, so you're fighting each other. I watched a review, and God, I feel like the reason I got this was because the people reviewing it were two really, really cute girls, and I'm just so fucking gay. But one of them, she put it best. She was like, I derailed us too hard.
But could you imagine if I said that?
Right.
You get in a lot of trouble.
You would get in trouble.
I would get in trouble.
I can say it. I can say it, and it's cute and funny.
I know you could say it. It's allowed. I could say if I said, I was watching BattleCon. It's
kind of like
these two really hot girls were like, and besides that, it's like my wife.
They were cute. They were cute. See, you got it's about it's terminology. They were just really cute and sweet, and they I had to make sure that I put in the I'm
cute
really
thing.
gay, because then it turned it so it wasn't just me being like, yeah, they're really cute and happy. It's like, no, I'm just really gay, and they were super cute.
So okay,
but
as I said, and I suppose the other thing is my wife saying to me,
yes, your wife.
Oh look, there's really two cute girls just like reviewing this board game, and all I would get was, you're never playing board games again. Ever. Or watching YouTube.
Right? No more YouTube. Ever. Banned.
Or you're going back under the stairs again. Oh, no, not that. No, don't do that.
Oh my god.
BattleCon, right, okay.
BattleCon.
There's a lot of BattleCon.
There's like 3 different boxes. I don't know if I ended up getting the right one because I didn't want to spend a lot of money, so I got the smaller box. And also because the characters on it, I liked every single one of the character designs. And I'm a sucker for, like, the game's gotta also look good. I gotta like the looks of the characters if I'm gonna be playing this thing. Unless it's just a really good game mechanically, and I've played with my friends first before buying it.
So what version did you actually get?
I got...
It's
the cheaper one. I got the cheaper version.
Is it the BattleCon? There's BattleCon Devastation, and there's...
I got World of Indians, I think.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's Devastation of Indians as well, so there's all different ones.
And that one was cool, but it was, like, way too expensive, even on sale. And I was like, I can't stretch it. I don't get paid till next week. So it's sad. Like, my favorite comic shop, Gabby's, shout out again.
Hey, Gabby.
She does like a customer appreciation sale the weekend before Thanksgiving because a lot of people go out of town to visit family. So she's like, I'm just gonna have it the weekend before. It's cool.
Cool.
And everything's like on sale. So I picked this one up because it was cheaper. And it also, it had a skeleton on it. I like skeletons. They're cool. So I wanted to play the skeleton
nothing wrong with
guy.
that.
And I don't know. I just opened it up. I need to go through the rules, but my understanding of it is that it's like a fighting game, and I love fighting games. I'm just bad at playing fighting video games, so maybe I'll be good at this.
I just find that with fighting video games, if you're not in at the very, very beginning, then you might as well just forget it.
Yeah.
Every single version of Street Fighter I've kind of like picked up later on.
I don't like Street Fighter. I've never liked Street Fighter. I played Street Fighter on the Super NES, and I'd always play Blanca, but it was more just that I'm playing this cool.
I'm just out and out rubbish at them, I think.
Yeah.
And also, I'm kind of okay. I can play through the single player game, but see when it comes to like the multiplayer, I kind of go on, and it's like
I can't play against people.
Yeah, I just can't. I'm like leveled up against people that they go in, and it's like we'll match you to the same person. So I'm going up. I'm like level 2, and they're like level 1, just started.
But they kick your butt.
And
totally. They know the button combinations.
Yeah,
like they practice. See, I don't practice. I don't learn the button combinations, and then I always forget you can block, so I never block, and so anyone can beat me. It's like, oh, here comes Niki, she doesn't block. And it's like, but I don't want to block. I got to be aggressive against you. Like, no, just like, how are you always beating me? And my friends would be like, we block, Niki. You got to block. I'm like, no, blocking takes away from the flow of the game.
You can't just take punches all the time. Or I remember Street Fighter 3 where you could parry. That was pretty cool.
That was cool.
When you could go down, you
never
ding,
do it.
Ding,
yeah,
ding,
but I could.
You're like, look how badass I am.
I could never do it, so I hated it.
I got pretty good at it. I think.
So that's cool. I'm more a SNK fighting game, so I like King of Fighters and like Fatal Fury was another one.
All right. Okay. Cool.
But I was bad at them. They were fun, but I was bad at them. like I remember being at an arcade. Well, this is video games. We only talk about video games. We're talking BattleCon.
No, I know we're not allowed to talk about video games. Otherwise, the person that owns the podcast, me, will be like,
how dare you talk video games?
It's like,
podcast.
Like, I know, how dare you talk about video games in a podcast, which is talk to it just random things anyway.
Right, that's all.
It doesn't matter. But there's so many out there,
There are.
It's just like video game podcast thingies.
Mm-hmm.
So, but no, yeah. I mean, no, BattleCon. People keep on telling me to play BattleCon, and they tell me to play BattleCon because I've played Pixel Tactics several times with Colin.
Oh.
And Colin kicks my ass every single time.
Maybe you'll be good at BattleCon.
I know. This is the thing. It's
maybe, like I don't know. Like this expansion's pretty cool because it came with like these little, they're like these little like packet sleeves for you to put like all the character stuff in.
All right.
So it's like, this character sleeve, make sure you have this many of this token and these 3 cards, because it's like their stuff. And I thought that was pretty cool.
That's what you want.
And it came with a little board for like your battle board, which is really neat. Because at first I didn't think it was in it. I thought it just came with the cards that made up the field. But that's for if you want to play on the go. It's like, play it with this, and it's just like the travel option. It's like, this is neat. Like, a lot of thought was put into this game.
So when you're planning on playing this, as soon as you can?
As soon as I can. If it wasn't like family holiday time yesterday, I would have made my brother play it with me.
What about your mom?
She might. I don't know.
That'd be good
it's hard
fun,
to get her to
wouldn't
play
it?
games with me.
Because then what you could do is
fun.
you could say to your mum, okay, play me at this, and she'll be like, all right, okay, and then she does, and then she's obviously going to beat you because she's so good at board games.
right. She's
and
so good at
then
board games.
you can get your brother over, and you can play him, and then you can maybe kick his ass at it, or probably will kick his ass.
Oh yeah, because I'll be more familiar with it.
And then you can say to him, well, if he beats you, you can say, well, if you think you're so good, I bet you can't beat Mum. And then have her in on the whole thing. And then when she plays you, when she plays him, she just comes in and kicks his ass. And he's
I love this idea.
He sits there and he's going, I like playing. She kicked my ass in 10 minutes. This is rubbish. I hate this game.
Perfect. Because he expressed interest in playing it, so I think next time we hang out.
Yeah, I think I've heard a lot.
I've
heard a lot of good things, and people have said to me, you should really, really look at BattleCon, just because you're very, very bad at pixel tactics.
Yeah.
That's like saying I really should look at high board diving just because I'm quite bad at swimming, because that's gonna really, really work out for me. At all.
Like, I'm bad at pixel tactics too, so.
Yeah, I know, but as we said, Pixel Tactics are doing the kind of they're going to be doing the Mega Man kind of Kickstarter, which I think is live just now, which segueing like a suave, sophisticated swag seguer. Did you see that?
Yes.
One of the things we talk about is Kickstarter.
Yes.
Have you ever been involved in Kickstarter?
Yes. I have.
Good. Why are you laughing?
It's like we're laughing about some inside joke.
Yeah, it's like some kind of inside joke. It's not an inside joke. It's because there's notes, and we said we had to bring stuff up. And then if I've been here before, where I've asked the question and went, so, do you like Kickstarter? And I went, nah, not really. It's rubbish. I don't agree with it, and I actually find it offensive, kind of thing. But
I liked Kickstarter.
I kind of do. I've kind of I don't know. I like the idea of spending money and not getting anything until 8 months later.
I know. Like, okay, my Kickstarter experience was I backed Tokaido.
Yes.
So like the big expansion pack. It came with everything. They added some stuff, and I backed it at one of the higher levels, so I have all the painted figures, and it took forever to get that thing because they just kept having setbacks with the manufacturer, and they got to a point where it's like, this isn't gonna happen, and then it happened, and I got it just a few months ago, and I backed it probably 2 years ago.
That's like Conan then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because Conan was another thing where we mentioned it quite recently. Mm-hmm. Where they kind of went, yeah, it's definitely coming along, definitely, yep, any day now, any day,
right.
Any day. No, but you can go out to your shopping. It's not coming today, but you don't have to know. There's not going to be a big parcel on your doorstep when you do come home. No, it's definitely, but maybe in the next couple of days. Maybe next month now, guys. Maybe next month. And it just went on and on and on. But
my friend got his copy of the game 2 or 3 weeks before me. I'm just like, well, where's mine? What's happening? Did it get lost? I was so scared because I love this board game. It's just so simple and fun, and you can make it a lot harder if you want.
So what is Tokaido about? Because I'm looking at images about it, and it just looks like some kind of
it's a very stylized game.
It looks
It's
lovely.
cute. It's fantastic. Um, what? I think you can have 5 people. You're just having a trip across Japan. You're going from like Tokyo to Edo, or what? I don't know. I can't remember. Kyoto to Edo, something like that. And you have stops along the way, and like you can stop at a hot spring and draw a hot spring card. You can stop at like a temple and donate some of your funds to the temple, and each thing you do like rewards you with points, and so you move like your little point marker, which in this new version they made, they're cute little like bento boxes that are wrapped up, and that's what your point marker is. And it's just really, it's cute. It's very easygoing, and some spots only have like maybe 2 or 3 spaces for people to use up. And so that gets to a point where you're like, and you can, the goal is you go from one inn to the next inn, and you can go to any spot in between those 2 inns. And it gets to the point where it's like, well, I'm running low on funds. Do I want to just go to the farm to work and get 3 gold and skip this encounter with a random character, which in those sometimes you could get gold or just good items, or risk not being able to land on that one farm spot, somebody else grabbing it. So you kind of gotta pick and choose what you want to do. And like I've been blocked from doing things I wanted to do by like friends and family. They'll be like, Niki, you just made it too apparent that you wanted to stop here. So I had to take it. And it's like, no! Why did I just keep my mouth shut?
Have you played it a few times now?
Yeah.
It looks absolutely stunning.
It's good. It's actually one that my little sister enjoys playing too.
Oh, cool.
Sort of. I made her play it when it came in the mail. I was like, you have to play this with me. And she's like, I really don't want to. I want to go to my friends. I was like, well, you need a ride to your friends. So play this game with me and I'll give you a ride.
So it's blackmail then?
Exactly.
How
but
delightful.
she had fun. She had a lot of fun.
Oh, that is so good. That is so
and
good.
There's just a bunch of little things you can do. I haven't tried any of the expansions yet, but I mean, I love the game. My friends love the game.
Did you get the one with all the little figures on it then as well?
Yeah, I got all the little figures,
what?
all the new characters. All the figures are painted. I backed at that level, so I got all the painted figures. It came with like a CD with like background music to play.
Really?
I haven't listened to it yet, but it's so cute. So much thought was put into this game, and it's a lot of fun.
See, that's what I love about board games is somebody can say, okay, I'm going to do a board game about just traveling around Tokyo and experiencing stuff, and you know what, you would get less likely for people to go, don't be so stupid. You know, why would you want to do that? That just sounds like the most ridiculous thing ever. And I think this is the best thing about board games, is that somebody could look at that and go, actually, yeah, why not? Let's go and make that and see how it, see if it flies, see how it goes. This is, the wonderful thing about it. I mean, I've seen so many different themes for board games. It's fantastic now. I've just got, we spoke about one, where you're a temporary worker at an office, and your idea is you have to go about and like assassinate people. But because the security is so tight in the office, you're only allowed to use kind of like stationery. So you've got different kind of like, the violent paper clips and stuff like that. It's just absolutely fantastic. So
I love it. That's so cool.
Yeah. So I mean, there's just little things like that are very, very good. There's obviously, because we kind of know each other through the Dark Souls community.
Yes.
We have to mention it, because otherwise, people will be, said you had Niki on and she didn't talk about Dark Souls. You did, right? You did back it, didn't you?
I did. I backed it.
Do you think? Totally okay. Do you think that it's going to be okay? Or are you getting it like everybody else for the miniatures, or are you planning on playing it?
I'm planning on playing it. Like I want it to be good because I like the idea of exploring an area and fighting monsters.
Yeah.
That's just what it's kind of like. It's kind of like Dungeon Quest. You know, you're exploring. You're just being thrown into this thing. You get to fight some baddies, and so that kind of sounds cool. It also made me think of like Descent, but not on such a grand scale. Like
You played Descent.
I do. I have like the first big box for Descent.
All right.
Like since they updated it a few years back, but I've never finished a campaign. Like I've played it like twice. And it's just there's so much to it. It's really intimidating. So
me and Colin and Leo, Mr. Leo, we played it on and off, and we tried a campaign for a couple of weeks, and I think we just ended up kind of fizzling out. Not because we didn't want to play it, but just because the preparation time for getting it set up took quite a long time to get it out. But I'm interested with the Dark Souls board game to see not what Steamforged do with it, which I'm hoping it's Steamforged, otherwise I've just made an absolute arse of myself. But I'm interested to see what the community do with it, because I reckon you'll get the community will go. There will be entire Reddit threads and various Dark Soul forum threads, all talking about here's a version of the rules that I've done instead that you can use the miniatures for. And this is what I'm kind of looking for. I think there could be...
I didn't even think of that. That would be really cool.
I think there could be quite a lot of homebrew stuff.
Yeah.
Which will be very, very interesting to see what people do, because somebody is going to come up and say, "Oh, this isn't how I would done Dark Souls," and they're going to go, and you're going to go, "Well, you go away and do it then," and they'll be like, "Yeah, I have," and they'll produce like 183-page document,
right,
and counters and stuff, and it's like, okay, that's fine. They're using all the models, but I'm really, really interested to see what the because everybody knows the Dark Souls community has done. The amount of content and stuff that they've created over the years, it's just absolutely phenomenal, you know.
It's ridiculous.
So it'll be interesting to see kind of where it goes to and what's going to happen kind of with it, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But what are your thoughts on it?
I'm excited for the board game, I guess. Like when they first announced it, I was like, shoot, this is going to be great. This is awesome. I love Dark Souls. I love board games. Look at these cool character pieces that they're making. Like, I jumped on the hype train, and I was like, this is going to be great. I don't care how they do it. Just give it to me. so I threw, like, excess tuition loan money at it because I'm irresponsible.
Right, okay.
And I was like, this is great.
Debt Souls.
I didn't do any of the expansions.
Right, okay.
But they're like they hit like all of their stretch goals, so I'm gonna be getting enough stuff that I won't know what to do with it.
I know, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, it's like, even if you decide, okay, even if you're sitting there, kind of like where it is, I think the pledge manager actually finishes the first week in December, and I'm just like kind of, nah, this isn't gonna happen for me, basically. This isn't going to happen, and if I do go ahead and go all out and get other stuff, it's just going to be silly.
Yeah. Like, the expansions, like, they're cool, like, getting the different boss monsters and stuff, but the price tag on them is just too much for me.
It's about $500.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to spend it all. I have a job now, so I could do it, but I'm not going to.
But it's next year, isn't it? It's like March, April next year.
Yeah. So...
I'm just hoping that if we keep mentioning the board game, that I can entice somebody from Steamforged to come on and have a chat, because I'd love to ask them some questions.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah. So if anybody knows... I could send them messages. I probably will send them messages and just say, hey, would you like to have a conversation on a podcast with some Scottish people about your board game? I think they're in the UK anyway, so it's all good, you know. If they said come down and meet me, I'd be like, okay, what time? You know, kind of thing. Right. Should be good fun, you know.
That'd be really cool.
It would be really cool, but we shall try and make it happen. If anybody out there in the We're Not Wizards land maybe could make that happen, that would make my Christmas. Thank you very much. It would be absolutely fantastic. Is there anything else that you are considering backing or looking at backing, kind of Kickstarter wise, or is that you done?
Not that I can think of. Like, I don't go on to Kickstarter very much to, like, look. I just kind of, I don't know, word of mouth for different projects. It's like my friends will be like, hey, check this out.
Yeah. I mean, we're a bit more involved here because we kind of are actively speaking to kind of creators a lot of the time.
Right.
So we've got guys that we've spoken to, that we've interviewed, that have actually got Kickstarter campaigns. So just by doing that and speaking to these people, you do end up with other people kind of coming along and speaking to you. Kind of thing.
Pretty cool, though.
Which is kind of cool. But it's good to speak to people that are, you know, they're not just sitting there with a pad and pen and sketching stuff out. They're actually have taken those sketches and they've designed them out, and then they're looking at components and they're looking at boxes and looking at shipping, and then looking at a half glass of vodka going, oh my goodness, why did I start down this journey when it's so much hard work to do? But hats off to every single person that kind of like does the Kickstarter campaign, even if they don't get funded, because that doesn't mean to say that they're still not having to go through all that work to get it there in the first place. I mean, that's kind of a cool thing to be doing anyway, to take that and put it out there and hope that people don't turn around and go, this is rubbish, kind of thing. But yeah, no, one of the things we do on the show is we do shout outs. So, and normally what I do is I don't usually do them when we've got guests on, because it is like kind of getting on the phone to your best mate when somebody's in the room, and I think it's a little bit rude. But is there anybody that you would like to give kind of a shout out on the show to?
Oh, gosh.
Your long-suffering brother?
I don't know if he'll listen to this. He's not, I don't know if he's a podcast guy.
Oh, for goodness sake.
I'll just give a shout out to him. No, I'll give a shout out to my mom. Hi, Mom.
Yay! And Gabby's as well.
I'll be her. Yeah, Gabby's, big time Gabby's. She's in. Well, if you live in Washington State, you have to go.
To Gabby's.
To Gabby's.
Is it Olympic Comics and Cards? You said.
Olympic Cards and Comics.
All right. Okay. Well, I was almost
just
there.
Call it Gabby's.
Right. That's fine.
She does have a Twitter, so I'll be giving that.
Yes, we'll make sure that those are put in the kind of the show notes, as well as we'll put linkage into all of the all of the games that we've had a quick chat about, you know, Tokaido and BattleCon, and so we'll get all that sorted out, so those links will go out there, and we'll wait for the check from Fantasy Flight Games.
Well, speaking of Fantasy Flight, there's one more board game I want to just mention, since I've been talking about my mom a lot.
Yes.
Wiz War. Have you played that?
I've heard of it.
It is so much fun. I love it. It's my brother's favorite board game. He has all the expansions. There's like 2 or 3 expansions to it.
Really?
But every time we play, we'll play with our mom, she wins every single time.
Every single time without fail.
Every time. I think like the past 4 times.
I'm starting to think that we maybe should have had your mum on the podcast.
I feel like you should have. She's so sweet, and she'd be like, I don't really play board games. I just let my children beat each other up and I win.
I don't really touch these board games except for, you know, every single one that they play as well. I'm surprised she's not been on the X-Wing as well.
I know.
She probably does though. Well, now that you're at work, she's probably like sneaks into your room and she's like,
and she's
looking down your kind of like your spreadsheets of your team, and she's just going, concussion missiles.
Right.
What are you doing? What kind of girl did we bring up here? You had chats in it. That's what they do. They're sitting down in the den, having a chat and saying, you know, I went through her Excel spreadsheet with her X-Wing squadrons, and you know that she's still insisting on flying that Defender. What?
Oh gosh.
Let's
she's
get her
really
on.
good.
That'd be amazing.
She's really good at Carcassonne too,
Is
because she's one of those people that takes the farmlands and then wins by being connected to every single field that has a city, and it's ridiculous. It's like,
Let's do it
how?
after Christmas. Let's get your mum on.
Let's do
The
it.
three of you. Let's get her on. Let's talk tactics.
It can be like a short. It can be a short podcast, a special.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just interested in somebody that's obviously
I'd
completely
love to hear
better
her
at
take
board
on
games.
this stuff too.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
because she's so much. She's like, I don't really understand it. I'm just kind of doing this. It's like, no, you're good at these games.
Should probably be for proper Carcassonne kind of tactics. We'll have that kind of special. That'll be kind of cool.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
You kind of bring it on. You're on social media and stuff like that. Do you want people to know your Twitter? Do you mind if people?
Oh yeah, do. Go
if
ahead,
people
that's fine.
have listened tonight. God bless you if you have, ladies and gentlemen.
Seriously.
Hats off, namaste and everything.
Seriously.
Because it's been good fun. But if people listen tonight and they go, that Niki, what's her mum's Twitter?
Yeah, exactly. She has Instagram. She doesn't have Twitter.
She has Instagram as well. I bet you if you go on her Instagram, it's just full of like game tactics and stuff like that. It's all these books she's written. She's probably got a board game podcast and you don't even know.
You know what? I'm so bad. I don't even follow her on Instagram.
That's so bad.
She follows me, but I don't follow her. I should. I'm gonna follow her right now.
You should really do that right now.
I
my
did.
Goodness. We're not
built. Oh.
We're not wizards bringing families together.
She took some cute pictures of us playing Dracone last night. That's
well, there you
good.
go. That's fantastic.
She has like 10 pictures on here because she doesn't really use it.
Well, that's enough. I mean, that's probably. Well, I don't know. You wouldn't have known until now because you weren't following her.
Yeah.
Do you feel better now?
I do feel better.
Oh, that's good.
Now I can see if she's talking crap about me.
Ah, that's it. So you can always bring it up.
She's too nice.
She's just got a picture of her like pointing down at your X-Wing collection and just shaking her hand at it going,
right.
This is rubbish.
This is so rubbish.
Such bad tactics. My goodness.
Oh, God.
If people want to find you on Twitter, where can they find you, Niki? Because we're tangenting like the, like we're in a math class learning about tangents.
Right. You can find me on Twitter at Lost Panda. And
that's cool.
Yeah, that's where I'm at, Lost Panda. I'm also on Tumblr, but if you really want my Tumblr, just ask me through.
Yeah,
I'll give you my Tumblr.
You know, you've kind of yeah. No, Twitter's fine. Lost Panda.
Twitter's good.
It is. We've been on Instagram. Yeah, if you want to find out about us, because this is important. We're now on it. We have been on Instagram for a while, but I was posting up some pictures of us playing Scythe last night because we asked a few people what they wanted us to play for the next game, and we gave a list. And the response was just what we expected. But people have said, they would like us to play Scythe, so we were going to be playing Scythe. So we did play some Scythe last night. I'm not going to tell you how it went or what we thought about it, but we will when we record our next, not this episode that's we're going to be recording soon, but the episode after that, we will be talking about Scythe, which is kind of cool.
I want to know about this game. I just followed you on Instagram. Look at that.
There you go. I'm just going to get some kind of block. There you go.
Right.
Go down your list and I'm going to follow your mum. Instead block, follow your mum. There you go.
Perfect.
You're like,
That's
hello.
what you do.
So if you do want to follow us on Instagram, if you search for us on We're Not Wizards, you can also find us on Twitter. We're Not Wizards. You can find us on Facebook at We're Not Wizards. You can, if you want to email us, you can email us on magic@we'renotwizards.com or .co.uk. You can find our website on we'renotwizards.com or .co.uk. We are on all the normal places. We are on Stitcher. We are on Podbean. We are on Acast. We are on Podly. which is a nice little social media for podcasts, which is always good about worth a look. We're also on iTunes, as usual. If you like what you hear tonight, then feel free, please, to give us a little review. And as we always comedically say, is that don't give us 10 stars because that'll make us too arrogant and big-headed. And don't give us 1 star because that'll make us cry. But put it in the middle and give us 5 and that will make us smile. So there you go. I just wanted to say to you, Niki, thank you very, very much for being on. This has been a lot of fun.
I've had a blast. This has been the highlight of my day, actually.
I would also like kind of release the previous 40 minutes that we talked, but right. I'm not gonna, because it was just absolute nonsense.
It was complete nonsense.
It was good fun.
All of it.
It was good fun.
It was good.
But no, thank you very, very much for coming on. And there is only, as we always say, there's only one more thing for everybody out there, which is to remember that we are many things, but we're not wizards. Are we wizards, Niki?
We are definitely not wizards.
We're definitely not. We are Imperial TIE Fighter pilots.
That's
taking
right.
out the rebel scum and crashing into asteroids.
That's exactly what we are.
Fantastic. So without further ado, it's a thank you again. It's been really good fun, but it's a goodbye from Niki.
Goodbye.
And it's a goodbye from me. Take care. We love you loads, and we shall hopefully be speaking to you very, very soon. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye.